The coffee shop door chimed, a small sound that shattered my quiet morning. I looked up, and the world stopped. There was Mark, standing by the counter, holding the exact same worn book I had been reading for years. It had been 5 long years since he vanished from my life without a single word. But before I could even whisper his name, he turned and disappeared into the gray rain outside. A week later, the universe seemed to conspire. I found him at a crowded train station. We stood among the commuters and talked for an hour, though we spoke only of trivial things like the weather and our mundane jobs. His voice sounded exactly as I remembered.
A familiar melody that made me believe fate was finally aligning our paths again. I walked home that night with a heart full of dangerous hope.
I decided to take the leap and invited him to dinner, convinced the past was returning. He arrived for dinner, but the man across from me was a stranger. He spent the entire evening checking his phone, the blue light reflecting in his eyes as he barely looked at me.
When the bill finally came, he stood up abruptly, the sound of the chair sharp and final.
Not once. I sat alone in that booth, staring at his empty chair. The silence in the room felt heavier and more crushing than the 5 years of his absence. I realized then that these encounters were not a bridge to a future, but a test of my own boundaries, only to find the living person had no room for me at all. I stopped checking the door. I stopped waiting for the chime of the bell. I took that old book, folded the page, and set it firmly on the shelf.
I walked out of the shop and into the bright, warm sunlight, finally leaving the memory behind.